What is up, you crazy people out there on YouTube? How's it going? How's it flowing? Well, I got a couple things to discuss in this here rant. Put on my goth makeup real quick. We're chilling live on the King Cobra JFS channel. Like, I can literally put makeup on without using a mirror. Not trying to make women jealous here, but close my eyes. Watch out. There we go. Ash looks pretty good. All right. Where to begin? Oh boy. Let's begin by putting the cap back on my eyeliner pen, just like that. All right, cool. So I figured out that it was a mild misunderstanding earlier. Turns out when you go to make the Clone Willy kit, the tube that you used to make is the tube that it comes in. I didn't know that, so it'd be nice if when I have a misunderstanding, if people didn't automatically assume I was lying or some stupid shit like that, you know. But then again, I could always be less assuming myself, so What's the ranting about? We have a couple things. We have a crime story. We have a story in Sweden. We have a new trend, and there's like 3 things to rant about, and yeah. We got 3 things to rant about. Sure do. What's up, punk rock? Let's just jump right into the ranting, shall we? Let's see here.
Kim Marie. Hey.
All right, so here we go, YouTube. What's up? We got the first thing to rant about right here.
Fair warning. This is, yeah, you'll see after the intro music you all hate. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. Before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. So thanks for that, guys. Now, sometimes I'm convinced that we're living in a simulation. Other times I'm more convinced that there are a lot of really stupid people making decisions for all of us. Either way, it's not good. So I assembled all of you here today to discuss an issue that flies under the radar. And that's mainly because I don't think there's been one specific case that's blown up in the mainstream media. At least not in any significant way. So the story we're about to discuss was reported back in 2018, but has had some developments as of October-November of 2019. And it's all in Swedish. So that's helpful. Swedish murderer Christopher Johansson, who killed and dismembered his ex-girlfriend, is to be transferred to women's prison.
You heard that right, folks. Swedish murderer Christopher Johansson, who killed and dismembered his ex-girlfriend, is to be transferred to a woman's prison.
Oh, this is one of those kind of videos. Well, they had a good run. Time to build the wall around Sweden. A weapons enthusiast who viciously murdered and dismembered his ex-girlfriend before feigning concern for her welfare during the search has now been granted a transfer to a women's prison. Christopher Johansson, then age 23, stabbed to death 20-year-old civil engineering student, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I will butcher it, his ex-girlfriend in May 2013. He chopped up her body and scattered the parts throughout the forest and a deserted farm. He also slaughtered and chopped up his dog.
So this guy in Sweden is a real fucking piece of shit. He basically, at the time he was 23, he viciously stabbed his girlfriend to death. Fuck him, he's a piece of shit. Dismembers her body throughout the forest and desert farm. And then he also slaughtered his dog. So right off the bat, this asshole in Sweden is a real psychotic piece of fucking work, let me tell you. But wait till you hear why, YouTube. Wait till you hear why he's being transferred to the woman's prison. It's going to be a juicy rant.
Jokes aside for a second, I am actually sorry about how graphic this is. Mr. Johansson was initially sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Okay, so Mr. Johansson was initially sentenced to 14 years in prison for his heinous crimes. On appeal, the conviction was changed to manslaughter, and the sentence was reduced to 10 years. So this sick bastard in Sweden, this disgusting, horrible, fucking monster of a person, decides he's gonna, do some fuck sick shit. He killed his girlfriend, murdered his dog, and originally was facing a 14-year sentence in prison, but on an appeal conviction was changed to manslaughter, and the term from 14 years was dropped to 10 years. Oh boy, this is, if you are easily offended, I'd tune out because it's only going to get worse from here. The injustice in our society in general is just enough to make my fucking head sick. Like, where's the alcohol? Oh wait, I'm out. Oh.
On appeal, the conviction was changed to manslaughter and the sentence was reduced to 10 years. I mean, side note for a second, I have actually never understood how 14 years, let alone 10 years, is an appropriate sentence for premeditated, vicious, horrible murder. Or any murder. Or even animal cruelty.
Thank you. I agree with Sydney Watson. I agree with Sydney Watson 100% on this, YouTube. I was 10 to 14 years. Like, I'd be doing society a favor and telling, if I was the judge in that situation, I'd be telling that asshole, you're getting 40 to 50 to life, dude. Straight up.
What is this? To be sure, this system is a joke. Someone call the police. We have a stupid. Johansson was sentenced in...
We have a stupid, she says. This is... Oh my God, Sydney Watson's blatant sarcasm just makes the videos fun to watch, because the amount of depressing bullshit in our society, and she kind of lightens the tone with her blatant sarcasm. So there you go.
2014, and by 2018, he said he was transitioning to female and renamed himself Kim Marie. A Swedish documentary called In the Head of a Killer, which I'm sure sounds much sexier in Swedish than it does in English, was released in October 2018 and talks about Johansson's crime. During this interview, Johansson claims that he's felt like a girl since the age of 5. He also talks about how he uses hormone patches for estrogen, takes testosterone blockers for testosterone, and has been going through the sex correction process. Also, special thank you to all the humans who helped me translate the Swedish into English for this video, because I don't speak Bork.
Okay, so to give you a context of what the first rant in this 3-rant video is about, this douchebag in Sweden murdered his girlfriend, butchered his dog, got a 14-year prison sentence reduced to 10 years, and now this so-called piece of shit is saying he identifies as a woman, and because he identifies as such, he's wishing to be transferred to a female prison. I can't even... Here we are again with, you know, that issue in our culture where men pretend to be trans to get what they want kind of thing. And the thing of it is, YouTube, is I've been called names like that before because I'm a heterosexual goth male who wears makeup, and that triggers people. It does.
Bork, bork, bork. I mean, I'm actually not even kidding here. When I listen to this, all I hear is the Swedish chef from the Muppets. Johansson was also granted permission to visit Anova in Stockholm, which provides hormone treatment support and therapy for transgender patients. He also applied to be transferred to a female facility because he felt bullied, harassed, and threatened by inmates at his existing prison.
Oh, you hear that? The vicious, murdering psychopath felt like he was being bullied and harassed by other inmates. Gee, I wonder why.
They think that he is devious and a tattle fag. Sweden, when we're done building that wall around you, we're gonna need to have a conversation about your insults, because what is this? Anyway, in 2018, that transfer request was denied. Yay for common sense.
In 2018, that the request for this transgendered male to get switched to a prison full of females was denied. So before you have a victory, yes, let's play the rest of the video.
A new transfer application submitted October 2019 was granted last week. Wait, no. On Monday, Mr. Johansson was transferred to Sweden's largest women's prison, which is a safety class 2, the highest available for women's prisons. Wait.
Nope. No, no, oh my God. So in the common sense of the first time around, they're like, no, you're a man. We don't care if you're transitioning into a woman. You're still going to be in a man's prison. You know what I would have done? I would have let this little fucking fruitcake turn himself into a woman. And then right when he's completed the transition, I would have said to him, oh, guess what? By the way, transition to the next prison cell denied. And I'm like, you know, that's what I would have said if I was the judge. Okay, if you're just tuning in to my live stream, I'm doing 3 rants. 1 in response to a video Sydney Watson made, and 2 about separate issues altogether. But to put things into context, there is a man in Sweden who in 2013 decided to stab his girlfriend to death, chop up her body, dismember the parts, hide them everywhere, as well as killing his dog. He went to prison for it, but got the charge reduced from 14 years to 10 years for a manslaughter conviction. And now this fucking asshole is saying how he's transitioning into a woman, and so because of that, he feels like he should be transferred to a woman's prison because other inmates are bullying and harassing him. Well, that's because people like you don't get a whole lot of favor in prison amongst these inmates. That could be why. And it couldn't just be because you're using that as an excuse to get attention in the media. Now, when a man goes through a transition like that, there's only 3 reasons why he does it. 1, these men are not as tough as their average men in sports, but they'd be a lot tougher than females in sports. So they make up some bullshit and say they're transgender just so they can have a winning edge in sports. 2, they're doing it because they want sympathy, they want attention, and because they want to take advantage of the now woke culture we live in. They're just doing it because, hey, why not? They can. They want attention. And the 3rd reason, and this is the truth of it, there are a lot of individuals who are like that. And because of the crap like this in the media, it's getting a bad name. You know? I got called trans growing up because I wear goth makeup, and I'm like, I'm proud of what I got between my legs.
No, stop. Mr. Johansson can potentially be paroled on January 24, 2020, after spending only 6 years in prison.
You heard here first, folks. Mr. Johansson of Sweden, who claims to be a transgendered woman who's transitioning, made this elaborate claim that not only is he transitioning into her, but he wants to transfer to a woman's prison because the men in his prison are picking on him. At first, okay, it's bad enough that this prick's jail sentence got reduced from 14 years to 10 years. But now he gets to have what he wants. He gets transferred to a woman's prison, which, get this, that 10-year sentence now goes down to a 6-year sentence. I am so fucking disgusted right now. I can't even think. Like, what? How is this even a fucking thing? No, if I was a judge, I would let Mr. Johansson transfer himself into a woman, and then as soon as he got the transformation done, I'd be like, guess what, motherfucker? Back to the male prison you go. Why? What? Before you call me a bigot towards transgendered issues, keep in mind that Mr. Johansson murdered and stabbed to death his girlfriend, dismembered her corpse, distributed the body parts in various areas, as well as murdering his dog. So, yeah, there's that. On a side note, why is it called manslaughter when men kill women and women kill men? Why not call it people slaughter? Why is murder so gender-based towards men? I don't understand it. Like, why is it called manslaughter? Why can't we just call it murder? You know, that's stupid. If I'm going to call it man, you know, and think about it. And you want to call me a pig or what have you? If they called it female slaughter and only men got killed in that incident, women would throw a fit about it. They'd be like, why is it so one-based? Why is it so gender-based? Why is it so gender-based? Why is it so gender-based? But that's off topic.
All right, that is it. Turn the car around. We're going home. I mean, according to the internet, apparently Swedish female prisons are like a big community where people crochet and do gardening. This is clearly the face of a person who really enjoys gardening. He's got a real green thumb, if you know what I mean. You know, I'm so glad that we're all out here putting so much emphasis on protecting female inmates. But you know where else I like to be protected? On the internet. Which is why today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark is a virtual private network, or VPN.
And you know where else females want to be protected? Outside of prison. Like, this sick bastard just manipulated the system and used this transgender woke society we live in to get what he wants.
That one time that Australian Telecom, including protecting your passwords, photos, and private messages, and allowing you to bypass internet censorship and country restrictions. You know, it would have come in handy that one time that Australian telecoms decided to block people from accessing 4chan and Zero Hedge. Uncool. Personally, I really like that Surfshark is simple and easy to use, but it also doesn't slow down my internet, which is something that I've experienced using other VPNs before. I also like that it allows me to access blocked websites, online content, and applications, like 15 different Netflix libraries. Surfshark can also be used on as many devices as you want.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? We're now seeing this trend where, okay, the LGBTQ community is getting more acceptance, and I'm all for that 100%. You know, I'm all for the LGBTQ community getting more rights and getting more respect in our community. But there's always that one asshole that has to be like, I'm going to exploit this. And the asshole in Sweden that did this crap is no joke. Like, this guy's a real fucking piece of work, dude. Using an issue that people have had to fight for years to gain equality in, because, you know, men are kicking his ass and hazing him in prison for what he did because karma's a bitch and he can't handle it. So out of fucking nowhere, he just says, oh, hey. On a side note, though, if he really was, if the man in Sweden was really transgender, wouldn't he have already come out? Wouldn't it have been easier to come out instead of murdering your girlfriend and your dog and making all this stink about it? Which, if you really were transgender, you would have come out a long time ago, buddy. I'm just saying. You wouldn't have come out when, okay, now you're getting harassed and bullied in the prison that you are in because karma's a bitch. You wouldn't have come out when it most made it convenient for you. I mean, really.
To get a special Black Friday 83% off and an additional 3 months free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk when you try it out. So click the link in the description box and make all your dreams come true. Because just remember, as long as you can't be safe in prison or out in the real world, at least you can be safe online. Wow, that got real dark real fast. Now, with relation to Johansson and this entire situation, this seems to be where this story draws to a close. But before we explore this a little bit more, I want to make a couple things clear. Apparently, Johansson has actually had gender reassignment surgeries, although I'm not sure to what extent. You know, not sure if he's had the full... These surgeries were also allegedly paid for by the taxpayer because that's just how the Swedish prison system is structured.
Okay, so now on top of this, apparently, now Ms. Johansson, because we're going to be so PC on my channel, Ms. Johansson has had the surgeries to make her more female. And the best part is it was paid by taxpayers' money in Sweden. Could you imagine for 1 second some fucking psychopath coming out as transgender and then demanding to be switched over to the female prison because they're too much of a pussy to hack it in the male system, make up some excuse so they can justify that. Now, what happens then? See, what I would have done at that point is been like, okay, yeah, sure, you can have your little transgendered surgery, go right ahead. But you're staying in the male prison. Huh. Well, Miss Johansson, if you get raped by your male inmates, that's not my fault. Maybe you should have thought about that before you stabbed your girlfriend to death when you were a male. Cobra's an ass, but I tell it like it is. Because think about it. This guy literally went from a 14-year prison sentence and got it reduced to 10 years on the basis of manslaughter. When he didn't slaughter a man, he slaughtered his girlfriend, which is a woman. Again, you want to call me a bigot because I'm making that point of why is the term manslaughter so gender-based. But on top of that, you know what I'm saying, YouTube? You look at this fucking prick in Sweden. Fuck him. Fuck murder. Hashtag respect women. And not only did he get his prison sentence reduced to potentially only 6 years in prison. Only 6 years in prison. But on top of that, they make the Swedish government and the Swedish taxpayers pay for this sick fuck's transitioning surgery. That's like taking a shit on someone's face and then smearing it all over their face and saying, how do you like the taste of that? That is literally adding insult to injury. So think about it. The family members of that poor girl who was viciously murdered by her so-called boyfriend, their tax dollars had to pay for their daughter's killer's realignment surgery. Fuck that, dude. The fuck? Are you kidding me? Oh. Could you imagine what this poor girl's family has to go through knowing that the fucking piece of fucking psychotic asswipe shit, cunt stain, cum guzzling asshole did to their daughter, and then adding insult to injury, he plays the politically correct system we live in. And not only does he get his prison sentence reduced to potentially from 14 years to 6 years, but they made the taxpayers' money pay for his gender reassignment surgery. Motherfucker. Karma is going to bite this person so hard when they get out, it's not even going to be funny. Now, there are only 3 reasons, like I said, that men want to become women. 1, they're too much of a chicken shit to hack it as a male in sports. They're not strong enough to hack it as a male in sports, so they become a female so they can glorify themselves by saying how strong they are. 2, they want some of that sweet female privilege, which we'll get into here in a second. And 3, they actually believe they are female on the inside. Wait, female privilege. Oh yeah, even though men have privilege, women have privilege too. Oh yeah. Like, for example, if a woman walks up to a dude, cuts his dick off, throws it down the garbage disposal, people point and laugh. Oh, look at this pussy getting his ass kicked by a girl. I bet he deserved it, cheating bastard. How to become transgender on a budget. Cheat on your psychotic girlfriend. Or how about when a woman beats the shit out of a dude and no one sees her hit him, but as soon as he hits her and someone sees that, oh, you're a monstrous bastard. And the only reason that this story is going unnoticed in the media is because it involves a transgendered individual. So now you're going to throw in LGBTQ discrimination on top of it. If it would have been just some regular white male who murdered his girlfriend, it would have been all over the fucking news. Look at this male cis piece of shit. I gotta grab a glass of water. Hold up, YouTube. So yeah, this Johansson character that claims to be transgender after he murdered his wife, butchered his dog, got his 14-year prison sentence reduced to a possibility of a minimum of 6 years with parole and good behavior. And adding insult to injury, made the taxpayers of Sweden pay for his alignment surgery. I dare some politically correct bigot to argue with me on this right now, because you're a piece of shit if you tell me I'm wrong on this issue. Fuck that Johansson piece of shit, and fuck the system allowing that crap. Could you imagine, for 1 second, somebody murders your son, murders your daughter, whatever, and while in prison they claim to be transgender, And then the insult to it all is your taxpayers' money has to pay for it. Your taxpayers' money has to pay for your killer's realignment surgery, for the killer of your son and or daughter. You would be steaming pissed. I don't care who you are.
It's also very important to understand that a male class 1 prison in Sweden is a much higher security prison than a female class 2 prison in Sweden. So he's basically going to a less secure, less maximum security prison and will probably be in with the general population. Comforting. As with most things in 2019.
And there you have it. Like, literally, she said it. In Sweden, the male prisons have way more security, whereas the female prisons, not so much. So he'll be in a less secure prison amongst women. Yeah, that is extremely comforting to think about, isn't it? No, not really.
That are just needlessly complicated. This topic does raise a couple questions about transgender people in prison. The first being, what do we do with people who are transgender who offend? The second, what do we do with prisoners who transition while in prison? And third, who on earth is supposed to pay for all of this? Because in Sweden and here in the United States as well, apparently it's the taxpayer. Here's Elizabeth Warren's recent take at a CNN town hall.
You criticized the judge's ruling that granted transition-related surgery to a transgender inmate. You said, I don't think it's a good use of taxpayer dollars.
Right.
Do you regret that?
Yep. No, it's a bad answer. And
Okay, Elizabeth Warren, honey, not to be an asshole, but put yourself in the family of that poor chick. Okay? Put yourself in the shoes of the family who just lost their daughter because this psychopath decided, for whatever fucking reason, now, I think it's bullshit. If we got people who are committing murder and rape and then out of nowhere they identify as transitioning or what the fuck ever, identify as transformer, I mean, am I going to have to repeat myself? But could you imagine for 1 second, which when you start accepting transgendered rights, these are going to be things that come into play. What do we do with criminals who are transgender? What do we do with people who want to play in sports that are transgender? You know, it's one of those subject matters. It's one of those subject matters. It's like you really don't know how to address it. Do we have separate prisons for them? Do we have separate leagues for them? What? Okay, my solution to this, if they are female when they enter the prison system, then they go to a female prison. If they are male when they enter a male prison system, then that's where they stay. You know, you want to talk about, okay, transgender issues as a whole. Yeah, but again, we look at the example of Mr. Johansson from Sweden, who entered the prison system as a male and decided, well, they're tired of being bullied and picked on by the larger men, so they're going to say some bullshit like they're transitioning and try to get into a populace where they have more strength. Very similar to seeing these dudes who just do it to get attention, and it's like, what the fuck? The fact that our culture is so willing, okay, when is it too politically correct? They're supporting transgendered rights. They're supporting transgender rights and being like, that's one thing, but then, okay, this person's a fucking asshole and a psychopath and they want our hard-earned money to pay for their surgery. Fuck that. Fuck that. You want to call me a bigoted asshole? Fine. I don't care. I don't give a shit, dude. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Okay, that's my simple solution to it. Okay? If they entered the prison system as a male, then they're going to a male facility. If they entered the prison system as a female, then they stay in a female facility. And I think this guy in Sweden realized, like, hey, the female prison has less security. So, of course, in his twisted little fucked up mind, he's like, if he lies about being transgender and shit like that and actually commits to the part, much like Eric Cartman trying to get his own bathroom at South Park Elementary, that's exactly what happened. No, if I was a judge in that case, I would be like, okay, here's your gender realignment surgery. Here's your fake tits. Here's your fucking fake pussy. Now back into the male populace jail system you go. If you're a criminal who started off life as a male and you murdered a female, and now you claim to be quote unquote transitioning, dude, fuck that. So if you think life in prison as a male would suck, could you imagine being a transgendered, officially changed female in prison? The only one there? Yeah, you would get fucked with pretty hard. And as far as I'm concerned, that Johansson, or whatever the fuck his name is, that asshole from Sweden, that piece of shit, deserves it. He went from getting a 14-year sentence to a 10-year sentence based off of manslaughter charges, and then fucking turns around and says he's transitioning, and so he demands to be in the female prison. And because our society is so politically correct, not only do the taxpayers in Sweden pay for it, but he gets his sentence reduced to 6 years because now he's a female. Female privilege. My point exactly.
And I think it was a bad answer. And I believe that everyone is in.
You know what's a good use of taxpayers' money? Instead of telling these inmates, hey, we're going to pay for your alignment surgery, how about we offer treatment programs that help these individuals better themselves as people instead of being like, hey, you know. Because to me, that would be the ultimate punishment. You know what I'm saying? To me, that would be the ultimate punishment for them to realize, oh, guess what? You committed a heinous crime. You murdered your girlfriend. And now you have to stay in prison as a male for the rest of your life, knowing you'll never get to transition or be yourself. That would be an even harsher punishment than letting these assholes transition and be in the proper jail that they want to be in. Because think about this for a fucking second. A bunch of inmates who haven't seen pussy in years. All of a sudden, one of the so-called male inmates comes back and they're female. Ooh, I don't even have to say it, dude. And that's the only reason that the asshole wanted to get transferred to the female prison is because, one, he realized that after his transition surgery, the risk of him or her / it getting raped in that prison will go up dramatically. And two, there's less security in the female prison. Oof, fuck. And like, you cannot make this shit up, YouTube. I wish.
Entitled to medical care.
Okay, you know what? Medical care is one thing. Medical care is one thing. Transgender realignment surgery is cosmetic. if the prison in question had a couple inmates that had some medical issues like cancer or glaucoma, you know, that's a medical condition. Sitting there calling transgender realignment surgery a medical condition? Fuck you. That's cosmetic. Is our society so overly politically correct anymore that we can't call bullshit on the other side when people use this overly PC culture we live in to take advantage of kind-hearted people? That, oh, okay, I get called a transphobe because of what I've been ranting about on this video. Like, really? No, don't get it twisted. I am 100%. I support transgendered rights. I'll never date one, but I support their rights, you know? But I support them to a degree. Like, if you're a fucking murderous, psychopathic piece of shit who's already had their prison sentence reduced twice, you know, this is just a slap in the face to taxpayers' money in Sweden. Dude, if I was this girl's family, if I was this girl's father, I would be steaming pissed. Could you imagine being a dad? For 1 second, just try to picture it. You're a dad or a mother, and your daughter was just ruthlessly murdered by some fucking sick asshole who is now demanding that your taxpayer money pay for his gender realignment surgery because he's transitioning. After the fact, they just murdered your daughter. But then if you didn't comply with it, you got called a transphobe, and it's the law, you have to pay taxes. You would be so fucking pissed, you wouldn't be able to think straight. You'd be like, oh, okay then.
And medical care that they need. And that includes people who are transgender, who...
Elizabeth Warren, you're a dumb cunt. You wouldn't be saying that if someone did this to your family member, would you, Elizabeth Warren? No, the fuck you wouldn't. Sitting there on CNN like, oh, well.
It is the time for them to have gender-affirming surgery. I just think that's important.
She says that prisoners are entitled to medical care and, by extension, gender reassignment surgeries. Funded by whom, you ask? You and me, of course.
Yes. Anyone right now picture the level of bullshit our society is full of? Like this? Oh, dude, could you imagine? And I know I'm repeating myself, but could you imagine if someone was dating your kid and your kid was viciously murdered by their other half, and then their other half demanded to be switched to a different prison, not only a different prison with less security, but also demanded that your taxpayer money pay for their gender reassignment surgery? Get the fuck out of here with that.
The money tree does exist after all. But this isn't even the first time that this idea has popped up. In August of this year, a federal court ordered that Idaho must pay for a sex offender's transgender surgery.
What? You mean this isn't the first fucking case of it? So now we got sex offenders who are saying they're transgender. And an Ohio judge ruling that the taxpayers' money here in the good old US of A have to pay for that. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Huh. Okay. I got your gender reassignment surgery for sex offenders. It's called castration. It's called chemical castration. It's called chemical castration. You inject them with it, and their tiny ass sex offender dick is no longer able to get hard and hurt people. You put them on a list that says this person cannot receive gender alignment surgery. That's what should happen, is these people need to realize the degree of how fucking insufferable they are. Using the woke transgender society we live in to pull this shit because they want attention. Giving them what they want versus making them actually suffer through it. You know, if I saw a sex offender in my courtroom that was demanding good old US of A innocent bystanders use their taxpayer money to pay for his or slash her gender reassignment surgery, I'd be laughing their asses out of the courtroom. I'd be like, okay, first of all, if you're a male and you're a sex offender and you're claiming to be transgender and that you want your gender realignment surgery, I'd be like, okay, here's how this is going to go, you dumb fuck. Your ass is getting chemically castrated so you can't get hard again. You're going to be put onto a list that prohibits you from ever getting your gender realignment surgery. It's never going to fucking happen. So now you don't get to have sex. You don't get to hurt people. And you're never going to become the woman you envision. That's how you fucking deal with that. Don't be sitting there kissing their ass saying, oh, well, golly gee willikers. Our culture we live in is so fucking PC that we're afraid to call bullshit out on these issues when we see it because that might offend somebody. It's wintertime. We have snowflakes. They're on the ground outside and they're in the air and they're with people every fucking where.
Citing constitutional protections against inflicting cruel and unusual punishments on criminals.
Oh, because we don't want to incite cruel or unusual punishments on criminals. Oh, but here's the fucked up part of it. The fucking sex offender that's demanding for gender reassignment surgery molested a 15-year-old boy.
A panel of 3...
Oh, because cruel and unusual punishment didn't apply when that 15-year-old boy was getting raped? Are you serious right now? Oh, that's how fucking PC our culture's become. We gotta protect the monsters that create the shit in our society. Fuck, I need some tobacco, like... The judge ruled that we have... Okay, you know what? I am all for constitutional rights, 100%. As a proud American citizen, I'm all for constitutional rights, 100%. But at what point do we draw the line? So what about the parents of this 15-year-old boy? Their taxpayers' money is going to have to pay for their child sex offender's realignment surgery. Huh. I would be pretty fucking pissed right about now if I was that poor kid's parents, dude. I'd be beyond steaming pissed. Oh my God. Where's the alcohol must make more wands? Oh my fucking God. YouTube, I gotta stop and take a fucking hit of tobacco because my fucking nerves are shot right now. Did you hear these people claiming constitutional rights when gays, transgenders, and blacks were viciously attacked and sprayed by fire hoses and discriminated against? Fuck no. It's bullshit because gays, women's, blacks, minorities, real transgenders, not these fakes doing it for attention, but real transgenders, real women, gays, lesbians, blacks, minorities have all had to fight for their fucking rights. They have. They've been like the history of that nature in which these people have had to go through just to have some fucking sick bastard demand. The kind of shit that just gives you a nervous little twitch. Since when did this turn into a Twitch stream? Like, yeah.
Judges on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled on Friday that the state of Idaho must pay for the male-to-female transgender reassignment surgery of an inmate sentenced to 10 years in prison for sexually abusing a 15-year-old boy. I wonder if this is what a lobotomy feels like. And there are cases of this happening all over the United States.
No. Please tell me this is not happening in the good old US of A. Fuck this shit. If I was president of the United States of America, I would be like, depending on how severe, no, fuck that. If you're going to prison for a heinous crime and you want gender realignment surgery, tough luck. Okay? You're not there to make that more comfortable for you. You're there to fucking learn what you did. You're there to fucking suffer for the suffering you caused others. And 10 years for raping a 15-year-old boy, why not 30 to 40 years? That's what I'm saying. The punishment for rapists in this country isn't severe enough.
Including, but not limited to, California. No surprises there. Massachusetts, Illinois, and Connecticut. I've also found examples of this throughout Europe, most notably the UK, but also in New Zealand, and I'm banking Australia. I mean, we put people like this on national TV. Taxpayer-funded gender reassignment is not that surprising at this point. In the very least, it appears that these courts and governments...
The picture she pointed to was the red-headed cow. Yes.
Making these decisions because they view...
We put this on TV and inserts the picture of the red-headed cow. If you saw my last rant video involving Sydney Watson, it talked about a lot of fucking issues. I got a little bit drunk in that video. But this isn't even the end of my rant video. Like,
gender reassignment as integral medical care to which prisoners are entitled. There's that word they like so much, entitled. I mean, color me crazy, but once you hack someone to death, I don't think that you're entitled to a whole lot.
No fucking shit. Preach it, Sydney Watson. When you viciously and violently hack people to death, you're not entitled to shit. You lost your fucking freedom the minute you snuffed out someone else's freedom and their life. That's the way I fucking see it. People want to talk about entitlement. Who the fuck are they to talk about entitlement? Huh? These fucking assholes who are so quick to fight for entitlement, like, on these issues. I'm like, yeah, but put yourself in the position of the parents who've had to watch their children get raped and murdered, and then have the same asshole who did it demand for gender reassignment surgery while the victim's parents pay for it out of their taxpayers' money. You would be steaming pissed. Nobody's going to argue with me on this. And if you do, you're a fucking asshole.
Except maybe the chair. Sydney, that is extremely distasteful and very unfunny. So.
Oh, that was hilarious. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, the only thing these sick fucks deserve is the electric chair. I agree. 100%. Old Sparky.
You're transgender and you're in prison. What now? Well, for starters, corrections institutions must take into consideration a person's gender identity.
They don't have to do shit. Oh my God, dude. I'm not mad at Sydney Watson. I'm not. Sydney Watson is a godsend. I'm mad at the system we live in. Look, I'm all for helping people with their gender identity crisis and all that shit. But where does it stop? Where do we draw the fucking line from being like, okay, that person's a pedophile, that person isn't, that person over there touches little boys and little girls, that person doesn't get shit except menstrual, fucking physical, chemical castration, whatever, fuck ever. This person needs the help, that person doesn't. The fucking sick fuck sitting behind bars doesn't deserve shit except a good ass kicking and a bullet between the fucking eyes. Person over here, yeah. Connecticut will be the first state to officially house trans inmates by gender identity. The move is history-making and hopefully sets a precedent that the rest of the country will follow. Oh, good God. I am...
Meaning that corrections agencies are prohibited from placing transgender inmates into men's or women's units solely based on their anatomy at birth. So then, what's it based on? Where do you put the people who say they're neither male nor female?
No shit. That's a good question. Okay, if this so-called law says the person will not be placed in the prison, fuck that, okay? These people are hardened, sick fucks who hurt people, and we're supposed to make it more comfortable for them? Fuck you. Fuck you. Hold up. What up, Scott? What are you doing, man? Not much, bro. Just making a rant video live on YouTube. Hell yeah. All right, that sounds good. All right, ladies. Where in the fuck did we go wrong as a society? If accepting transgendered individuals means that we have to also allow inmates who have raped people and murdered them to have what they want, then I'm done. Like, no. We have to draw the line somewhere, YouTube. And exactly my point. If we're not allowed to imprison people who've committed violent acts in the gender they were born with because they're transgender, where do we put them then? What about the people who have no gender? Exactly, like...
What about people like me who want to be housed with the other unicorns? So from all of this arises two key arguments from
Sydney Watson's sense of humor.
both sides of the aisle. The major concern is changing our prison system to accommodate transgender inmates will put other inmates, particularly women, at risk, especially when you consider the fact that anyone can identify as a woman and then change to a female facility. But
no shit. This does possess a potential safety risk for actual female inmates, considering that anyone now can claim to be transgender. Any male can claim to be trans and then in the system and then claim that they need to be changed over to the proper blah, 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 you know.
But the other side argues that transgender inmates are the ones who receive the most amount of abuse behind bars, leading to depression, suicide, and self-harming, meaning that they should receive much more support.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Oh, well, the other side likes to argue that transgendered individuals behind prison face the most ridicule and harassment. That is a fair but unfair point. It's fair because some of them are in jail for something stupid, while others are in jail for murder and rape. Okay? If you're in jail for murder and rape and you're getting bullied for being transgender in prison, well, if you hadn't been a sick, disgusting piece of shit, if you hadn't murdered somebody, if you didn't rape people, if you were not in prison for those things, I would have more sympathy for you. I would. I'm like, okay, well, you're in jail for a minor traffic offense, but you claim to be transgender, so now you're getting bullied. That's a little fucked, you know? But if you're in prison for raping and murdering people and you're getting bullied because you're transgender, I don't want to fucking hear it, dude. I don't want to fucking hear it. There are so many other individuals out there who get bullied for the exact same reason, and they're outside of prison. You know, there have been people who were bullied for being gay, for being lesbian, for being bisexual, who are outside the prison system, who have done nothing wrong to deserve it other than try to live their fucking life. And these fucking assholes are over here whining about microaggression. Fucking Me Too movement. I'm sick of it.
For example, a story was reported in 2016 from Brisbane, Australia, alleging that a transgender woman was raped 2,000 times in an all-male prison. Another story from 2017 from Pittsburgh claims the same. There was a third story in Britain in the same year that covered a suicide pact made by transgender inmates who said they'd been bullied and mistreated and took their own lives. But for every case like this, I can find another that talks about a transgender inmate who's assaulted a biologically female inmate. Transgender prisoner sexually assaults 4 female inmates in prison. Transgender inmate is accused of sexual attacks on women in prison. Transgender in prison for raping young girls sexually assaults inmates in women's prison. In this last example,
yep, that's exactly what's gonna fucking happen. You know, if these men are coming out as transgender while they're in prison, and if these men are in prison for murder and rape and then just decide to come out as trans, you know what I'm saying? If these people decide to do that, all of a sudden now they can physically do these things. And I'm like, this is a really, 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 really touchy subject, and a lot of people just do not want to discuss it. They're like, I am not touching this one with a 10-foot pole.
Well, a fellow female inmate said, the transgender offender may have changed physically, but his brain is still the same. You can change somebody's genitals, but it's not going to take away the urge and impulse inside them to do horrific things to children. In each of these specific cases,
my point exactly. All these fucking inmates whining because all these murderers and rapists who are claiming to be transgender, demanding that they get gender reassignment surgery and that the taxpayers pay for it. You can change your outside, but you can't change your inside. These fucking sick bastards, these fucking sick, disgusting individual people, they went into prison with those disgusting thoughts. So, you know, you can take their dick and chop it off and turn it inside out, give them a fake pussy. You can fucking insert fake tits and give them boobs, fucking widen their hips a little bit. There you go. That's not going to change the way they think. That is a fair point.
I just want to be clear that these people still had penises despite the fact that they identified as female. And then they were put in with biological females in female facilities. So yeah, that's like kind of playing with fire.
Pretty much. Like, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, if men who have been committed to prison for rape, sexual assault, murder, etc., and they claim to be transgender, and they want to be transitioned to a female facility, then make them go through the transformation before they do it. Or better yet, just tell them no. 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 Just tell them no. Be like, look, the safety of our female inmates is more important than your pity Me Too movement needs. So, yeah, tough shit, man. Because last time I checked, if you go to jail, it's because you did something wrong. You know, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. So making these fucking psychotic assholes more comfortable isn't going to teach them a goddamn thing.
Sorry, that's not just playing with fire. That's burning down the whole house and the forest behind the house. Seriously, who keeps giving you people matches? So when you start digging into the statistics on this topic, things don't get any clearer. Data from the Bureau of Justice Statistics from 2011 and 2012 said that there were 3,200 transgender inmates in state and federal prisons across the US. Of that number, 101 were surveyed, and around 40% said that they'd been sexually victimized in prison. According to these numbers, that means that transgender inmates are 13 times more likely than non-transgender inmates in the same prisons to experience sexual abuse.
All right, so this video is 17 minutes long. It's in my likes. I would encourage you to go check out Sydney Watson's channel and give her a subscribe. Okay, if you go to prison for rape and then decide to become transgender, and then you yourself are raped once you've transitioned, that's not microaggression. That's not discrimination. That's karma, my dude, dudette, she, he, it, whatever the fuck you call yourself. That's karma. Then we move on to the second part of our rant. People are now taking glitter pills to make their shit sparkly. I wish I was making this up, YouTube. We're moving on from that topic, so calm your horses, people. It is. The society we live in is fucking gross. I agree with you. Like, first of all, who cares if they work? It's stupid. The fact that we're so obsessed with glitter in our society, we want our shit to be sparkly. Not to mention the fact that, okay, if you take a glitter pill, what if that shit gets stuck in your intestinal tract? As glitter gets everywhere and it's incredibly hard to clean up. So not only is it bad for your digestive tract, but the only reason people are eating these pills is so they can take a picture and put it on Instagram. Take a picture of some shit and be like, oh, look, sparkly. Hashtag sparkly shits. You know, fuck that, dude. Like, I'm at my wit's end with this crap, YouTube. On a real note. And finally, we have one more video to kind of skim through right quick. If you like these rants, subscribe for more. Oh, good gravy. Another YouTuber by the name of Isaac Butterfield. Video published August 20th, 2019. I like the video, and this dude seems pretty reasonable. I'm going to hit that subscribe button. All right, so let's get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Dawson recently released another documentary. It had millions of views in only a few days, and it followed a journey of a young lady suffering with a terrible mental illness, Eugenia Cooney. Now, Eugenia was very...
Oh, yeah, shout out to Eugenia Cooney for getting the help she needs, you know. She has my support 100%. You know, Eugenia Cooney is famous for being anorexic, not eating enough. She eventually took a break from social media to get help, and I think that's awesome. You know, 100%. But this right here touches base on some other issues, because we have Eugenia Cooney on one side, and then we have the other side, and this person's about to talk about the other side.
She was very anorexic at a stage in her life, and she was making YouTube videos, and these YouTube videos were very confronting for a lot of people, and people were in the comment sections suggesting that, you know, something needs to be done for this poor lady. Everyone in the YouTube community got behind her, and thankfully at the end of the documentary, Shane was showing to the masses across the world, Eugenia seemed to be in a better position than when she last left YouTube, and she started making content again, which is great for her. But we're talking about eating disorders here.
Eating disorders.
And there is a side of the internet where this is not only encouraged, but it is the thing to do.
Yes, there is a side of the internet that is encouraged and where it seems to be the thing to do. How much food can you stuff down your throat? This goes beyond just mukbang type. Excuse me, it's the beef I had earlier coming back up. Tasty. This goes beyond just a mukbang type challenge, but yes, we've seen it. I've seen it. You know, the T-Rex Burger Challenge, the Arby's Meat Mountain Challenge, you know, these fast food challenges. And you see people like Matt Stoney just eating a bunch of food, and people are like, whoa, how does he do that? So yes, YouTube, there is a part of the YouTube community that encourages unhealthy eating. And it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, if you're too skinny, people start to raise awareness about it, and they encourage you to get help. But if you're too fat, nobody says shit. The fuck is that? You have the polar opposite of what Eugenia Cooney was going through, the polar opposite. And, oh, good gravy. This live stream is depressing.
And it is on the complete other side of the spectrum. This is where giant women eat lots of food.
Yippers, this is exactly as he said it. We're heavier set women. Okay, let's stop being PC. Let's just call it what it is. Fat chicks. Where extremely fat and overweight chicks are encouraged to eat a bunch of food on camera for our sick entertainment. You know, is it because we're so disgusted by the way we look that we see someone else who's heavier than us, and we use that to validate feeling good about ourselves as we watch them stuff their faces with junk food? I don't know. It could be the same reason why my trolls laugh at me. They're like, they're so fucking miserable with their own life. They see somebody with autism who struggles, and they think to themselves, oh, hey, I'm going to fuck with this person because I'm a sad, shallow cunt. I don't know. But that's, you know, this morbid curiosity. Like, it's become a fetish watching fat chicks eat. Like, you know, these videos do exist. These fat chicks sitting in their underwear, stuffing their faces with cake as the frosting and the crumbs go all over their fat, disgusting tits. They fucking sit there making a fucking pig of themselves, and people are encouraging it. My question is, if you wouldn't encourage people like Eugenia Cooney to have an eating disorder, why would you encourage the polar opposite?
Now, this video is going to be seen as pretty horrible to make fun of these extremely fat and obese people, but it is necessary to point out the absolute hypocrisy that comes from people watching someone be very skinny or anorexic and threatening their own lives by the inability to eat a correct diet, but they will champion the existence of these people who develop a large following, a large subscriber count, by eating shit tons of bad food and expanding faster than the universe is.
No, seriously, that's a fucking fair point. It is extremely hypocritical to sit there and say, "Oh, honey, you're too skinny. You need to get help." But then you take another female who gets big on YouTube, literally and figuratively, from eating crappy food. There are channels on YouTube where these fat chicks go on YouTube and they're like, "Hey, YouTube, so today, this is what I'm eating." And you look at the food they have in front of them. They quite literally have enough food for 8 to 10 people. And they're sitting there shoveling it down their fucking throat. Kind of like me in some extents, people getting famous on YouTube for the wrong reasons. The only reason I'm famous on YouTube is because people like watching me freak out, having my little autistic moment. And because they like watching a fucking retard like me do the things that I do. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Hoping that I'll freak out or go off on the trolls or, you know. Like, literally, someone commented on my channel, "LOL, who is this train wreck?" Because I can't drink alcohol on my channel without people calling me a train wreck. And yet you encourage it, so. But on that same note, I kind of feel like people are in control of their own actions. They are. A lot of these heavier set women have eating disorders, and they justify their eating disorder by saying, one, it makes them feel good to be in control of their body by eating a shit ton of food. And two, they justify their excuse by saying, well, look at how many followers I have.
Can't believe I said that. It's time to meet a 46-year-old called Candy, who is known on YouTube as Hungry Fat Chick.
Oh my fucking God. There is this 46-year-old woman by the name of Candy, known as the Hungry Fat Chick. Jesus fucking H Christ. Just watching her get into this chair is the saddest fucking thing on the planet. Watching this fucking fat chick get into this chair.
Hey, y'all.
You literally hear her. She is out of breath just getting into a chair. Hey, y'all. You know what? Kudos to the Hungry Fat Chick, honey. You're doing your thing, and if you got views for it, fine. I am not here to judge you, okay? To be fair, the food you got in front of you looks good. Like the example they used, you got your pizza, you got your pop, you got your pastas, your bread. Yeah, it looks tasty, so, you know. But literally watching this chick get into a chair is the saddest, one of the saddest fucking things on the planet as she's sitting there. I'm going to tuck this fat roll over here and then this one over here. And you know that if the microphone was enhanced on that camera, you would hear the springs in that chair going, creak. Wait a minute, Cobra. Who the fuck are you to say this shit? Have you seen the crap you eat on your cooking videos, Mr. Cardinal Cherry Bacon Cheeseburger? With your chocolate-covered cherries on top of a bacon cheeseburger. Mr. Make a burger with bacon grilled cheese sandwiches as the buns. Like, okay, so to be fair, I am being kind of a hypocrite. The food I eat is incredibly unhealthy. But at the same time, look at that. I'm not morbidly obese because of it. Because here's the thing of it. Even though I'll spend most of my day in my apartment either making wands or making videos, at some point within a 2-day span, I go out and I hang out with friends. I'll walk to their house, ride bike when the weather's warmer. So I at least make an effort to get some sort of exercise. So I'm not just sitting on my ass all day, every day. Oh, good Lord. This is just...
Today I'm having an Italian feast.
Oh my God. Like, I can't even watch this right now.
Oh my God, she's fucking massive. Oh, this poor lady.
Yes. Very excited about this.
This chick is so fucking fat. It's ridiculous. Like, good Lord. I'm not trying to bully the poor girl. I'm really not. But holy fucking shit. You are out of breath just sitting down in a fucking chair. Case in point. Case in fucking point. I want to walk around my apartment for a second. Now watch what happens when I sit down in my chair. I didn't have to sit here and tuck a bunch of fat rolls under the side of it, you know. And let's be real about this for a second. Like, you want to talk some serious issues. The reason why a lot of these women have these weight issues is because they think I'm already fat, so what's the fucking point? Might as well just keep eating. On the side note, how the fuck is she still alive at 46? Like, you picture, like, sincerely, YouTube, you picture the morbidly obese, overweight, fat person riding a rascal at Walmart, and she fits the description to a fucking T. You know what? And to be fair, food's delicious, all right? I know I'm being kind of an ass on this last little rant here. So to be fair, food's delicious. But if I kept drinking every day, all day, every day, and not taking a break like I do, anywhere from like a week to 2 weeks, 2-3 days, give or take, people would say, Mr. Saunders, you have a drinking problem. Well, and if I use the excuse of, well, alcohol tastes delicious, they would tell me that's an excuse. That being said, you know.
Ooh. Let's see, I have.
That snap you heard was her stretching out to the waistband on her pants and going, oh, fuck, I gotta adjust.
10-inch cheese pizza, lunch serving of lasagna, and also a lunch serving of spaghetti with Italian sausage.
I've said this before, but I used to be a very large, overweight child, and it sucks. It sucks to be overweight. It's a horrible thing. But the best way to combat that is to eat healthy, exercise, and stick to it. What she is doing right now couldn't be more of the opposite of that.
You know how you get a fat person to lose weight? Okay. You get on a fucking motorized scooter with a stick on the end that has a bacon-wrapped deep-fried Twinkie on the end of a string, and you literally say, you want it? You want the bacon deep-fried Twinkie all wrapped up in greasy, heart-failing, artery-clogging goodness? Come get it. Come get it. Make them walk towards it. As they're sitting there wobbling with their 8 fucking chins, their jaws a quiver. I want that Twinkie. I must have it. They're sitting there like a fucking zombie looking for brains. And then you make them walk a couple fucking blocks. Be like, oh, guess what? Now we're going to go uphill. Have fun with this. When you're so fucking fat, you can't sit down into a fucking chair without having a shortness of breath. It takes you literally 10 minutes to get up 4 to 5 steps. You're sitting there like, first step, oh, fuck, give me a second. Second step, oh, fuck, give me a second. By that 4th step, you bust through the sweats. You're sitting there like, fuck, one more step. And you don't even bother to make that fifth step. You just collapse right there on the top step like. At some point, you'd have to be like, when you fucking walk to your fucking bathroom and you take off your shirt and you can't tell where your boobs begin and your fucking stomach ends. You can't tell where your fucking vagina is because you gotta lift up the fucking front of your fucking stomach. They're like, oh, look, there's my private parts. I was wondering where those were. You know what happens to fat people when they're so fat they can't have sex because it hurts to move? They lose their breath. They become miserable because they're lonely. So what do they do when they get lonely? The first thing they turn to, which is the junk food. They're like, shit, where are the cats? Oh, wait, here's one pulling out of their stomach. Bloop. Mrs. Mittens. Ugh. And they think to themselves, no, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to start losing weight, blah, blah, blah. And all it takes for them, and I'm a hypocrite because I smoke and drink alcohol to relieve my stress. So really, everyone does something to relieve stress. I don't care who you are. But then it happens, right? She's sitting there watching her TV. Fucking Oprah's coming on. Yay! And then her sister calls, and she fucking hates her sister as she walks over to the fucking refrigerator with the fireman calendar, some ripped six-pack man, fireman calendar sitting on her fucking refrigerator, the kind of guy she dreams of meeting, but it's never gonna fucking happen. The kind of guy that's ripped, will cook for her, and loves fat chicks. Oh, chicks like her can dream, right? She pulls into her fucking fridge, like, oh, what should we eat? So we got the Ben & Jerry's, we got the brownies, the cakes, the chocolates, enough soda pop to fucking thirst quench a small village. Let's go with all of it. And while she's sitting there talking to her sister, stuffing her face, like, even though she wants to call her fucking sister a cunt because her sister's totally shoving her success in her fucking face. Her sister was the first one to get married. Her sister's younger, prettier, skinnier. Her sister makes more money than she does. Her husband actually cares about her, and she just loves it. And the one thing that gets her sister off every Sunday morning is calling her fucking fat, older, ugly sister to brag about it. By the time she's done with that fucking phone call with her sister, she just wants to fucking cry. She just wants to bury her face in that chocolate cake and weep fat tears of sadness. And just before it's over, it's not over just yet, YouTube. Oh no. Then her fucking mother calls. Her fucking mother calls. And it's instantly, why can't you be more like your younger sister? You know, if you found yourself a man, you'd probably be a lot happier. At this point, this chick is like thinking to herself, how the fuck is she going to find a man? She's 400 to 500 pounds overweight. She's got 6 cats. And every man she's dated is a fucking asshole. Right. And then the mother's sitting there fucking, why can't you be more like your sister? You know, if you found a man. And that's when you want to fucking lose it. This poor chick, she wants to fucking lose it, like straight up wants to go off on her mother. But you know what? She gets along with her sister for the sake of her mother, even though she clearly knows her sister's the favorite, even though her sister doesn't do shit for her mother. That's usually how it goes, right? You're the one busting your ass for your mother, doing everything you can to make her happy in her older, advancing age, while your younger, prettier, hotter, less fat sister fucking hogs all the glory and doesn't do shit for her mother. But that's not good enough for your bitch of a mother, is it? No, she'll fucking sit there and compare you to her other daughter who's younger, skinnier, and more attractive. About the time you're done with the phone call with your mother, you just want to fucking shoot yourself. That's how fucking sad you are. But then you see one of your cats come up to you, jump onto your belly, lay down and purr, and it's so fucking cute. And then you reach for another slice of fucking cake, and then you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Ouch. You call me an asshole, but that's exactly how it goes. That's exactly how it fucking goes. And you know what? Fat women use this excuse of they're fat, so they're not going to find someone. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. That's like me using my Asperger's as an excuse. Really? Find you a dude who loves fat chicks and loves to cook delicious, filling, and healthy food. Who'll massage your fucking feet and tell you you're the prettiest fat chick he's ever seen. Fucking spoon shove cake into your mouth while you sit in a relaxing bath bomb with 95% of your stomach sticking out above the surface of the bath water as you sit there rubbing cocoa butter on your fat, disgusting stomach. Yes, dear. You're the best, dear. Fat chicks like that would never fucking complain. You want to call me shallow? Guess what? Women are just as shallow as men. You call me a sexist asshole, but it's the fucking truth. But the second men are shallow, oh, fuck, you guys are all the same. You guys are all assholes. But women, on the other hand, are allowed to be shallow because men are genetically tougher than women. They are. We're genetically stronger. That's why you see us in more sports. That's why you see us in the military before women. And it sucks. Women sitting there saying, oh, anything you men can do, we can do better. Okay, then how about complaining less? Because we're not allowed to complain, us men. No, we get told to shut the fuck up. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling it like it is. And quite frankly, I could give 4 flying fucks less if I'm single the rest of my life. I like chicks. I've had the experience. That's enough. If I can't find a girlfriend, that's their loss, not mine. Which begs the bigger question, like, hey, well, Cobes, it is what it is. Well, Cobes is what he is. He eats an asshole. Yeah, I ate your mom's asshole last night, bud. You call me an asshole, but you're the fucking retard who donates just to talk shit. How about swinging your hips and clapping your balls on your own ass? Girls can't do that better. No, they can't because girls don't have balls. Exactly. Well, girls do have balls. They're called chesticles. And in a society where it's perfectly okay to hate on men, you know, yeah, fuck spice. This is tobacco. An hour-long rant. And if I was wrong, then how come there's all this pressure on women to always look their prettiest? Go ahead, I'll wait. If I was wrong in what I said, then how come there's all this pressure for women to always look their prettiest? How come women are held to a higher beauty standard? Oh. Well, just because you're an ugly fuck and no one cares, don't think you won't find somebody. Okay? I'm tired of women using the excuse of they're ugly and they're fat. That's an excuse. Okay, just because society has high beauty standards for women, fuck all that. And furthermore, it would help if women were made to feel accepted when it comes to their sexual conquest. But because women are slut shamed for their sexual conquest, women can't enjoy dick without being disgusted with themselves, feeling like nasty and ugly and gross on the inside. In a society that expects men to get laid all the time, wouldn't it be more productive for that movement if women were made to feel pretty and attractive when they fuck some good dick versus, oh, you fucking disgusting little whore? If women feel disgusting every time they have sex with a man, no wonder. So I might have been an asshole in this video. I'll admit it. I was a real asshole in this video, but I made a lot of fair points. Never heard of that before. My point being is, like, don't be using fat or ugly as an excuse for nothing. I like getting pussy. I find women attractive. I do. I find women attractive. I like getting pussy. Although I hate relationships and my standards are high. And I get told that I'm a male. I have autism. I'm not allowed to have standards. Fuck you. Relationships are fucking stupid. It doesn't prevent the end from happening. Here's the best part. We all die alone in the end. So it doesn't fucking matter if you have someone or not. You're still going to die alone. And the best part of it is, having a wife or a husband makes dying alone that much more painful. You're leaving behind someone to deal with the grief of losing you. You're literally leaving behind your other half to grieve over your loss versus dying alone with the pain of knowing you never had anyone special. And to me, I think the idea of dying before my other half and leaving her with that kind of grief. To me, that just sounds worse than dying alone in general. I'm serious. You ever go to the nursing home to visit your great grandparents and their other half died before they did? Dementia sitting in. The grandkids come over, the grandkids and the great grandkids and the kids come over to visit. Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Doing good. How you doing? Oh, and that's when they start doing it. They ask for their husband, they ask for their wife that they've been married to for 80 plus fucking years. They ask, where's their husband? Where's their wife? The person they've spent the last 80 to 90 years of their life with. They died last year, remember? Oh, I forgot. 5 minutes later, asking the same question. That's something to look forward to. Every couple gets to look forward to that. Every couple on this miserable fucking planet gets to look forward to that. And here's the best part of it. You don't know which one's going to go first. That's the best part of it, YouTube, is you don't know which one of you is going to go first. That being said, cherish every moment you have with your woman, with your man, with your main squeeze, because tomorrow's not promised. No, but I quite literally heard my female friend in question say, what's the point of men? They're all the same, blah, blah, blah. And I look at my female friend like, really? Like, you just haven't met the right one yet, homegirl. Like, shit. And furthermore, if you complain about him every other fucking day, why the fuck are you with him? Serious question, YouTube. When your man's sitting there saying, oh, he's going to change, but he never changes. And you've done more than your fair share of giving them the benefit of the fucking doubt. And they don't fucking change. That's not on you. That is not on you as the woman to have another one just like your last one. That is not on you, dude. No. You know what the best part about life is? The best part about life isn't that you get to live it. The best part about life is it fucking kicks you in the balls and fucks with you until you're dead. So by the time you're an old ass person, you're just begging for sweet relief. Life is the biggest fucking bully there is. Oh, imagine that. The asshole with Asperger's is cynical. Who would have thought? A goth who's also autistic and cynical? Wow, who could have pictured that? Oh, yes, this is a seriously depressing live stream, but guess what? Life is depression. Living, okay, and this is the truth of it. Living is just a slow form of suicide, so you might as well enjoy it. Living life itself is literally just a slow form of suicide, so you might as well enjoy it. Straight up, fuck suicide, but I'm just saying. Anyways, YouTube, if you like these depressing live streams, subscribe for more. If you like my woke ranting, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching and donating your time and money. I appreciate it. And we got Thanksgiving coming up, so, you know, go out there and have a safe and happy holiday with your family and your friends. And even though life is so depressing, it's not even funny, try not to let it get to you. I know some days that's easier said than done because life likes to pile it. Life is a stinking pile of dog shit, and they like to pile it. It likes to pile it at the worst possible time. You know, kind of, oh, it could be worse, at least it ain't raining, and then it starts raining. One of those moments. You're stranded in the middle of fucking nowhere. Your car's broke down. You're miles away from a freaking gas station. And your damn cell phone's dead. You and your friend are sitting there going, man, this blows. As you're waiting outside for a hitchhiker to give you a ride to the nearest gas station. And your friend makes the comment, well, we may be stranded in the middle of nowhere with no gas and our cell phones are dead, but at least it ain't raining. And then as if by magic, it starts raining. And you look at your friend and you want to punch him in the face. Like, bro, why'd you have to say that? Have I ever hitchhiked? No, I haven't. Well, if you got roadside assistance that you can just push a button and it comes on in your car, then that's different. But anyways, tubes, thanks for watching the rant. I'll catch you later.